Take advantage of the Boxing King Media discount at BYD Sheffield. You can get this amazing car for £269 per month with a £269 deposit. Details in the description.
Boxing King Media powered by BYD. Delighted to be joined by Maxi Hughes as always. Maxi, how are you, mate? It's been a while since we last caught up.
Yeah, it's been a while, mate, but I'm still knocking about, still doing a few bits in this boxing game. Maybe one day when I get a bit older, I might make it, I feel like I might be able to do something in this sport.
You definitely have made it, mate. Yeah, I was going to say you're like a YouTuber as well now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying, mate, I'm trying. I'm finding it hard because it is way out of my comfort zone, but I'm having a go. Why not? It might bring in a few more fans, a few more ticket sales, and I get quite a bit of feedback saying my videos are quite insightful. I've had 15 years as a pro now, so I've worked with a lot of different top-end promoters, so it's good to, I feel like I could give my insights on the inside of the business, which people are always intrigued to learn about.
Your boxing story is a pretty mad one because like you said, they're 15 years, lost early, carried on, lost again, been robbed a few times, carried on, worked with all the promoters. So I hope you are going to write a book because you probably know much. I thought that was Eddie Hearn for a second, Ed Hardy. But the amount of things you must know and you can probably cover, it's pretty. You must have a wealth of knowledge in boxing.
Yeah, and I've recently got my manager's license, just at the minute to manage myself. But who knows? Maybe when I do retire, I could stay in, the sport, and with my knowledge and experience, help other fighters, which I'd like to do. And there is some videos that I'm going to hold back on because I'm still fighting and I still want to do all right, but there's a few things I can say when I retire, when there's no loyalties to anyone, when it's not going to properly bite me in the arse. But yeah, there's probably a few of them stories I can throw out there, but for now I'll keep them under my hat. And yeah, like I say, it's still not. My missus wants me to back in. My mum were nearly in tears of a day when I said I've got a few years left, but I still if I wasn't performing, then I would probably find it easy. But I'm still performing, I'm still training well, can still beat young'uns on hill sprints and that. So while ever I'm still performing and excelling, I'll carry on because, I love this life, I enjoy it.
So you're going to go into full Carl Froch mode then when you retire?
I think so, yeah. And I think what I haven't done is boxing tutorials. Like I say, been fighting 20 years, I know a little bit about it, but I almost feel like if I start doing tutorials I might be giving away my boxing brain, and opponents like Archie might watch him and go, oh, actually he's going to do this. So yeah, Carl Froch does very well. I look at his stuff for inspiration and ideas because he's smashing it. So yeah, I'd like to have a channel like that.
Just be controversial, mate. That's what sells.
Yeah.
Controversy sells.
Yeah.
I was like looking at your career on the way down. I was looking at some of the fights you've had through time. There's three here. These are like quite three interesting fights. All three that you lost, yeah. So I know you had this mad trilogy with Martin J. Ward, Sam Bowen, and Scotty Cardell. All three fights, I think it's fair to say that you was kind of brought in as the opponent. Yeah. You wasn't expected to win. You was a guy that they said, who can we get to test our prospect out and give him a good fight? Yeah. And the mad thing is, I think it's fair to say you've probably overachieved from all three of them, and all them three have retired and disappeared.
Yeah. I think other than George and Zapida, Carl, you all right, pal? So other than Carl, Carl on the brain, William Zapida, Cambosos, they're still active, although Cambosos is not a loss. Don't see that as a loss. I spoke to him last night, my mate Liam Walsh, who also beat me. All of those lads have all retired, and I'm still, at the top. Like I say, achieving what I've achieved.
The mad point is I'm trying to highlight is that you was brought in as the opponent against them three guys, and them three guys were being pushed by the promoter at the time to be turned into stars. Yeah. And the star was in the bloody blue corner.
Yeah, in my champion outfit, all along.
Why couldn't they see it like on 5 occasions in them fights there? The guy was in the other corner.
Yeah, I accept that's the card that I'm dealt in boxing. Beating colour, Matchroom had the options over me, but it's not worked out the way I think either of us had wanted. So that's why, fortunately, I'm grateful to GBM for looking after me and getting me part of this build. But yeah, all along, I've been brought in as opponents, even with Cambosos. That's the one that really hurts, because I was brought in to keep him busy, for him to fight Loma, when I went and stood him on his head and they still didn't get me. So I've missed, I should have fought Lomachenko, which should have been a dream of mine, because he is one of my idols, Lomachenko. I look to him for like, how's he do that? Try and learn off him. So to be able to share a ring with him, I had that stolen from me, and that still stings a bit. But I've put it behind me, and I've moved on, and we're back here. 15 years of pro, still fighting in championship contests. So still got another run at it, I believe.
Well, you proved Dom Ingle wrong as well with something. I was watching something back last night, and I was watching it because of the Marcus McDonald thing, because he refereed your fight with Galad, didn't he? So, because I know Dom was quite outspoken on him, and obviously he was in the news again at the weekend.
Yeah.
What year did you fight Barry again? How long ago was that?
September 2022.
22, so 3 years ago. And in that interview, Dom said that you've got to be very careful with your matchmaking from this point on. Look what you've gone and done.
Yeah, I've done that. I was the underdog against Barry. I know he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's a good fighter, man. Fuck.
No, he's
British, Commonwealth, European, world title. And like I did it in an interview earlier. Somebody said obviously the Cully fight was a good performance. Says, that's one of the best we've seen you. Is that your best performance? And I always say no, it's not my best performance. I think my best performance was against Kid Galahad, because of how good he was. I managed to overcome that. It was a close fight, but I managed to, as an underdog, beat him. So to beat somebody as high quality and tricky and awkward and cagey as that, I think that, for me personally, is one of my best performances.
Because he's got you thinking all the way through the fight,
Yeah.
And then with Gary Cully, you won every single round, I think, on all three judges' cards. And again, it's fair to say you probably got brought in for Gary on paper to knock out, and then for him to move on and for you to disappear. But you're bloody still here.
No, I'm still here, yeah. And there's a part of it that I think he had so much hype around him, did Cully. They either brought me in to hopefully him beat me, or with the Saudi shows and the competitive 50-50 fights that are always happening, they might have said to him, we can get you Maxi. You might want an easy one, but those days are gone. You have Maxi or walk away. That's the fight we can get you. You either take it or leave it. And there might have been a part of that, a take it or leave it moment for him. But when we were supposed to fight a few years ago, my argument was, I'm better than him. He doesn't belong in the same league as me. Whereas the fight we had, obviously I was on the rebuild process. I needed him. So that's why I took that fight. But my argument was, look, I know I've got to prove it to everybody, but I am levels above him. I'll show you. And I believe, I did that in abundance.
So what went wrong with the Eddie Hearn? Because normally I know when you go in as the away fighter, if you beat the promoter's fighter, the promoter then has options on you, like for 1 or 2 fights where they get a percentage of what you earn, or they have to give you another fight. So what was the deal and what went wrong?
So the first option was to move up a weight and fight Dalton, which I said, look, and he understood a bit. He says, I know you're a lightweight. I says, yeah, I'm a lightweight. I'm not big enough to be competing at the weight above. And I've got myself in a great position at lightweight. So that was one option. They were like, all right. And then they offered the Andy Cruz fight, which I asked for. But when the deal came through, the deal was shocking. And I went,
In what way?
financially. And Lou DeBella, my promoter, and Eddie I don't think they like each other, so they don't get on. And I don't know if I was caught in the middle between them two having a battle or what, I don't know. But for me personally, when I looked at the numbers, I was like, this is shocking. After everything I've done, and the amount of times Eddie keeps saying, I want to get Maxi this life-changing fight, he's done well, he's still here after all these years. And then I get that, and I'm like, I'm not a mug. I've been around long enough to know my value and know my worth. So if you're not willing to do that, so yeah, I just thought, no, it's not good enough. So we've sort of both walked away. We still get on. I spoke to him the other week at the Catchall fight, but yeah, it just wasn't good enough for me. And GBM have come to the rescue, and wanting me to be a part of this as much as I want to be a part of it as well. So we've worked out a deal, and I'm happy, they're happy, and I get to box at home in a championship contest. So this right now is the better move for me. So I'm my own manager, still working with Lou DiBella, but I'm making my own moves, what I want to do. So
You're not tied to Matchroom or Eddie Hearn then?
no, not tied to them. It don't mean I won't work with him. I'd like to work with him again because I enjoy working with him and being part of them shows. But right now, it's all about this night on the 23rd of May.
It's stadium fight, undercard of Terry Harper's world title defence. Is he doing big things in Yorkshire? Fair to say. So yeah, wish you all the best, Maxi. I think you've got to go on stage, so it's always a pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Okay.